everyone, and welcome to our Course in Miracles reading for today. And we are on section 3, Atonement and Miracles. So let's dive right in to these beautiful passages. So it says in section number 3, paragraph number 1, I am in charge of the process of atonement, which I undertook to begin. When you offer a miracle to any of my brothers, you do it to yourself and me. The reason that you come before me is that I do not need miracles for my own atonement, but I stand at the end in case you fail temporarily. How beautiful is that section? Let's break it down. So I am in charge of the process of atonement, which I undertook to begin. So basically this is saying Jesus is already done with the atonement. He's already become one with the Holy Spirit to remember his true identity. He's already done that work. And then he says, whenever you offer a miracle to any of my brothers, you do it to yourself and me. And he says the reason that we come, or that he comes after us, we come before him, we get the miracle, and then we offer it, to others, is because he doesn't need it to fix his mind. He doesn't need that correction in his mind, because his mind is already one with the Holy Spirit, or one with spirit, one with divine love, one with God. So it doesn't need miracles. Remember, if you go back to, I believe it is the second or third video that I did reading the miracle principles, you'll actually see there's a point in there where it talks about there will no longer be a need for miracles because you will become one with God once again. Then it says, my part in the atonement is the canceling out of all errors that you could not otherwise correct. And so before I actually get into that, I want to read the next part because that actually perfectly gives us a base on which to talk about it. It says, when you have been restored to the recognition of your original state, you naturally become part of the atonement yourself. So that first part, canceling out the errors that you could otherwise not correct, we have taught ourselves very poorly. The Course even says that, as you go further along, it says you have taught yourself very poorly. So how are we going to change our minds? We need help with that, which is where Holy Spirit, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, divine love, divine consciousness, whatever it is you want to subscribe to as your higher power comes in to assist you. Because something that the Course really does talk about an awful lot of, and I want to put it in this analogy, you don't need to go to the 0 point of your guilt. As long as you recognize that part of the guilt that's conscious, so we'll put it in terms of an iceberg. So imagine there's an iceberg, the iceberg of guilt. Okay. And, there's that little part that shows kind of like, yeah, I kind of feel a little guilty about this. But then underneath it, there's more of that subconscious guilt. There's that bigger piece, that bigger chunk of ice. And all you have to do is invite the healing to that little piece. That is your 1% that you need to do. The Holy Spirit does the 99.9999999% of the rest. You just have to invite that healing to that conscious guilt, and it will take care of the subconscious guilt. And so as you do that, as you return to, the guiltless mind, you yourself will become part of the atonement, part of that at one-ment with the divine. And then it says, as you share my unwillingness to accept error in yourself, because remember, you are the holy child of God, you are whole, pure, perfect, protected, and provided for, and in truth, you have never sinned, which means you have never, which is, a very old term. It's an archery term that actually means miss the mark. So you have never sinned, you have never missed the mark in truth. Now in time, yes, we have, but that's because we were not in our right minds. And so in yourself and in others, this also talks about not judging yourself, not judging others. And so when something occurs, it's about you not going into the, to the story about it. Being like, oh my gosh, this person did this and this, and making it real. Because when we focus on the error, when we focus on the problem, we are giving it more energy, which means we are making it real. Whatever we focus on becomes more of our reality. Okay? And so then it says, and others, okay, you must join the great crusade to correct it. Now, it does speak in terms like it's a battle, but that's because it has to, the Course in Miracles is speaking to that ego part of you, or to that part of you that wants to awaken. And so it has to put it in terms, in worldly terms that we can understand. It couldn't be like, well, once you work the atonement, you're good. The mind would not accept that. It'd be like, no, I know there's more, because we live in a world where we think we always have to do. So it speaks in the way of being a crusader. And it's not really about crusading. It's more about just being part of that divine plan and allowing spirit to flow through you. And then it says, listen to my voice, learn to undo error, and act to correct it. So listen to my voice and learn to undo error and act to correct it. You will be told what to do. That's why he says, listen to my voice. He doesn't say, listen to your voice. He says, listen to my voice. He will direct you what to do. And actually, when we get down to paragraph number 4, section number 6, there's a beautiful line I highlighted, and it's one of my favorites. And so it says, okay, the power to work miracles belongs to you. Why does it belong to you? Because you are the divine child of God. You are entitled to miracles. I will provide you the opportunities to do them, but you must be ready and willing. Doing them will bring conviction in the ability, because conviction comes through accomplishment. Okay, so here it's saying that spirit, Jesus, whatever your higher power is, will provide you opportunities to work miracles, but you have to be willing for the personality part of you to step back so you can actually do the miracle. God, or we'll just say God. God knows you better than you know yourself. He knows your abilities. He knows what you are capable of. And he knows that he can work miracles through you. That's the thing to remember about miracles. Miracles are not done by you. They are done through you. Through you. Not by you. Yes, the divine may use your hands, your mouth, your ears, your eyes, your nose. It may use your whole body. But know that it is not being done by you. It is being done through you by divine consciousness that you have invited in. Let's see. And so we have to have that conviction, because we have to have that, basically that convincing that, yeah, I am the holy child of God. And the only way we'll see that is in that accomplishment of the miracles being done. And it doesn't mean that it's going to be big, huge miracles that you're going to part the Red Sea. It could possibly be something as small as you find a penny on the floor when the next minute you need a penny. Or you find $1 on the floor, and the next transaction you're like, oh man, I need $1. Pull it out of your pocket. There's your miracle. Okay, it's showing you that you are love and that you are loved. Okay, that you are love and that you are loved. Then it says, the ability is the potential, that achievement is its expression, and the atonement, which is the natural profession of the children of God, is your purpose. So so many people ask about, well, what's my life purpose? Your life purpose is spelled out right there for you. It's the atonement. It is to become at one with the divine once again. It even says, your profession as a child of God, which you are, I am, we all are, is the atonement, to remember that we are one with the divine, the at one ment. Then it says, heaven and earth shall pass away, means that they will not continue to exist as separate states. My word, which is the resurrection and the life, shall not pass away, because life is eternal. You are the work of God, and his work is wholly lovable and wholly loving. This is how a man must think of himself in his heart, because that is what he is. Love that part. So what that is saying to us is simply that heaven and earth will pass away as separate parts. We will be able to have that heavenly feeling here on, on earth. We'll get to that point where heaven will be on earth, but then even we can go one step further. And this could be, you could say, for, those higher initiates of information or of remembering, that even heaven will disappear and you will go back to the oneness of the divine. But right now, as we live here in this physical dimension, we can bring down those thoughts of heaven by remembering what we truly are, because it even says you must think of yourself as a divine child of God who is loved and lovable. God created you kind, so therefore you are kind. We could say, so love made you lovable. Kindness made you kind. Caring made you care. Compassion made you compassionate. So, all those divine qualities lie within you, and we must begin to believe that about ourselves. And I actually, just this week, finished my self-love or self-honoring course, helping people to get past some of those old blocks that they have to the definition that they give themselves. And, there are 4 modules. It's a live class, and I'll put the link in the descriptions below if you're interested in really waking up more fully to being able to see yourself as you are, the divine child of God that you are, which then entitles you to a life of ease, grace, flow, abundance, prosperity, and love. So if you're interested in that, I will put it in the comments below. Then it says, the forgiven are the means of the atonement. Being filled with spirit, they forgive in return. Those who are released must join in releasing their brothers. For this is the plan of the atonement. Miracles are the way in which minds that serve the Holy Spirit unite with me for the salvation or release of all of God's creation. So how absolutely beautiful. So the forgiven are the means of the atonement. So practicing the course's brand of forgiveness, which is not making the error real. It's not about going in and being like, okay, I forgive Johnny because, in 3rd grade, he stole my apple juice. That's not what it's about. It's about seeing beyond that projection. It's about seeing that you are really one with Johnny, that Johnny is one with you, that you too are at one with each other, always have been, always will be. And then to be filled with spirit, they forgive in return. So as we do more forgiveness, that gives the Holy Spirit, that gives Spirit more opportunity to come into our consciousness and begin to guide us more and more and more. But we have to practice that forgiveness, so that way we're getting out of our own way and we're clearing out that stuff that no longer needs to be there. And it's simply by the asking. It's not having to do rituals. It's not having to do it every single day. It's just about asking for it wholly and saying, you know what, I am ready to be healed. I am ready to release my burdens to the divine, and I'm ready for freedom. Okay, I'm ready for forgiveness, because it even says about the release of all the creatures of God. And then here comes my very favorite part, and it says, I am the one who can perform miracles indiscriminately because I am the atonement. So remember, back when I read the miracle principles, remember, miracles are not under your conscious control, because you don't know what miracle is going to be best. The divine, on the other hand, knows exactly what needs to happen, when it needs to happen, how it needs to happen. And that's what he's saying here. He's already one with God, already one with everyone and everything. So that's why he can perform those miracles indiscriminately, and we cannot yet, unless we are following his guidance. Now, I do use the word his. It doesn't mean that God is a male nor a female. It's just simply a term that the Course uses that I just adopted as well. So then it says, you have a role in the atonement, which I will dictate to you. So once again, asking for the divine. Ask me which miracles you should perform. This spares you needless effort because you will be acting under direct communication. I mean, how beautiful. So exactly what we just talked about. The impersonal nature of the miracle is the essential ingredient because it enables me to direct its application. And under my guidance, miracles lead to the highest personal experience of revelation. So as you release what needs to happen, release your expectation, the divine takes over 100%. Okay, and this is the part that I highlighted. This is sentence 6. A guide does not control, but he does direct, leaving it up to you to follow. So a lot of people, when they start on the spiritual journey, wanting to get in contact, and believe you me, I was as guilty as that. I was not guilty. I was part of that old paradigm of thinking as well, where I just wanted to get in contact because I thought they were going to tell me everything. Be like, oh, this is going to happen to you. This is going to happen to you. Here's where to go, so forth and so on. But as I got more into it, it wasn't like that. It's more just gentle nudges, just dictates. Be like, maybe I want to go to Walmart and I get the nudge, no, you should go to Kroger. So I go to Kroger because maybe Kroger has a deal that I wouldn't have gotten at Walmart. So that's what I love about it. And he's not controlling you. He's like, you have free will. You can either listen to me or you don't. Your choice. Because it says it leaves it up to you to follow. It says, lead us not into temptation means recognize my errors and choose to abandon them by following my guidance. So lead us not into temptation simply means, okay, the divine knows you better than you know yourself. And it's asking you, realize that you're going to have some resistance to this and just asking, you know what? I don't know how to get past this resistance. Show me how. Help me, direct me, guide me. However it is you want to put that in your own terminology that's going to help you the best. And then it says, error cannot really threaten truth, which can always withstand it. Only the error is actually vulnerable. You are free to establish your kingdom where you see fit. But the right choice is inevitable if you remember this, okay? Also a highlighted section, something to be aware of. And then after I finish this, that'll be the end of the video for today. Spirit is in a state of grace forever. Your reality is only spirit. Therefore, you are in a state of grace forever. Beautiful. So you can always, once again, we have that free will choice. You can build your kingdom on sand, which is, we could say, the vulnerable error, believing that you are only of this world, you are just a body, you are just a brain, and, you will die and be put into the ground. Or you can begin to believe, that you're not just a body, that you are free, that you are as God created you, and that spirit is in a state of grace forever. You are divine spirit. Your reality is only spirit because spirit is the only thing that's real. Error is not real. That in terms, this world is not real. Now, of course, this is not to walk around and be like, this isn't real, that's not real, so forth and so on. But it is to come into that understanding that it's not just this world. There is so much left out there for you. Because it says, therefore, you are in a state of grace forever. We are always in that state of grace. It's just when we're not in our right minds, when we are in our own insanity, when we are believing the world, when we are believing we have problems, when we are focusing on those problems, which then gives them reality, guess what? That's what we see. But we can always choose again. So I send you all my love and thank you so much for joining me. And once again, if you're interested in that self-love course, I will be putting it in the description below. All my love.